where pocket change could be your next paycheck. Let me ask you something. Have you ever dropped a penny and thought, not worth picking up? Well, what if I told you that one little 1980 Lincoln penny, yep, that boring brown coin you've probably ignored 100 times, might actually be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million? I'm not kidding. This isn't one of those clickbait fairy tales. This is real deal, buy a house and a boat kind of money. So before you toss that change in the tip jar or feed it to the couch cushions, you might want to hear what makes this humble coin so special. And stick around, because I've got a story about how I almost spent a rare penny on a pack of gum, and let me tell you, I've never forgiven myself. Alright, let's start with what we're even talking about. The 1980 Lincoln penny. This is your typical 1-cent coin featuring Honest Abe on the front, just like the ones we've seen since the late 50s when they switched over to the memorial reverse. Now here's where things get juicy. Most pennies minted in Philadelphia before 2017 didn't carry a mint mark. So a no-mint mark penny isn't rare on its own. But what makes some of these 1980 no-mint mark pennies worth a king's ransom is the errors, the die varieties, the anomalies, all the nerdy little things that make coin collectors foam at the mouth. We're talking about off-center strikes, double dies, planchet errors, and more. And when those things happen together on a coin in pristine condition, that's when you've got something that can hit $1 million+ at auction. Like our lucky star, the 1980 no-mint mark penny valued at $1.6 million. That bad boy had the perfect cocktail of rarity and condition, and yes, that figure is real. One sold at auction recently for over $1.6 million. That's not a typo. That's a house, a couple of classic cars, and a lifetime supply of pizza. Let's break down the elements that gave this penny its golden ticket. First off, mint state condition. This coin was found in MS 68 grade, which means it basically looked like it had never been touched by human hands. Imagine that, it survived over 40 years and still looked showroom fresh. No scratches, no fingerprints, no gum stuck to it. Second, a rare die error. This particular penny had a dramatic double die obverse, meaning Lincoln's face, the lettering, and even the date had a visible doubling effect. If you squinted at it too long, it looked like your vision was going fuzzy. That kind of doubling doesn't happen often, and collectors love that stuff like cats love cardboard boxes. Third, strong collector demand. The Lincoln Cent series has one of the biggest fan bases in the coin world. People love Abe. People love pennies. Combine that with a one-of-a-kind coin, and suddenly you've got bidding wars that would make a Vegas poker table look tame. Now let me tell you about the time I almost spent a valuable penny without realizing it. This was probably 10 years ago. I was at a gas station craving a snack. I walked in, grabbed a pack of gum, and tossed some coins on the counter. The cashier picked them up, gave one of the pennies a weird look, and said, "Hey, this one looks kind of off." Being the penny-loving nerd that I am, I snatched it back like she just tried to take my lottery ticket. I looked at it closer and saw that it had a very odd rim and the lettering looked a bit squashed. I took it home, did some research, and guess what? It turned out to be a 1992 close AM penny worth about 20 grand in good condition. Always look at your change, because that 1-second glance could literally change your life. Or at least buy you a better snack. Start with the date. Make sure it's 1980. No mint mark is normal for Philly coins, but it's still worth checking because we're hunting errors. Check for weak strikes or off-center designs. Then grab a magnifying glass and check Lincoln's face, the lettering, and especially the date. Any signs of doubling? That's a good sign. You might have a double die, and don't forget about condition. If your coin has been through the washing machine 3 times and has gum residue on it, it's probably not the $1 million kind. But if it's crisp and shiny like it just rolled out of a vending machine, you might be in business. Also, look for coins that are a little too light or too heavy. That could mean they were struck on the wrong type of metal planchet. Weird weight equals possibly valuable mistake. If you find something that even looks strange, set it aside. Worst case scenario, you wasted a few minutes. Best case? You're the next millionaire who got rich from their laundry money. So let's say you're checking your coin jar tonight, and boom, there it is. A 1980 no-mint mark penny with some funky doubling and fresh condition. What now? First, don't clean it. Seriously. Cleaning coins is like giving a haircut to a cat, it never ends well. Next, get it professionally graded. Companies like PCGS and NGC can give it an official grade and certify any errors. Yes, it costs a little money, but it's like buying a lotto ticket that already has the winning numbers scratched off. Once it's graded, you can either auction it off, sell it through a dealer, or hang on to it and brag about it at every family barbecue for the rest of your life. So next time someone tells you that pennies aren't worth anything, just smile and check your change. Because that boring old 1980 penny sitting in your junk drawer might just be your ticket to a whole new life. And trust me, once you find your first valuable coin, you'll never look at pocket change the same way again. It's like metal detecting without all the digging and sunburn. If you had fun today, learned something new, or just love the idea of making big bucks from small coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got more coin tips, hidden treasure stories, and real-life strategies to help you become the coin king of your neighborhood. Thanks for hanging out with me, and remember, the next $1 million penny might be hiding in your change jar right now. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters and pocket change detectives. What if I told you that one lonely little penny from 1991, with no mint mark at all, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million today? Yeah, you heard that right. A single cent, worth more than most homes. Forget Bitcoin, forget lottery tickets, we're talking copper-coated magic hiding in plain sight. Now I know what you're thinking. Come on. How can a penny be worth millions? Well, grab a snack, put your feet up, and get comfy, because today we're diving deep into the wild and wonderful world of the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny. You'll learn why this coin is so valuable, how to spot one, and of course, I'll throw in a little personal story of my own. Just to keep things real. Let's crack open this piggy bank of knowledge, and maybe, just maybe, you'll end up a millionaire by the end of this video. Or at least know which pennies to never spend again. Alright, first up, let's talk about the coin itself. The 1991 Lincoln penny was part of the regular U.S. mint run. By all appearances, it's just your average, run-of-the-mill 1-cent coin. But here's the kicker. Most of them were made either in Denver with a little D mark under the date, or in Philadelphia, which, believe it or not, didn't use a mint mark on pennies at the time. So technically, all Philly minted pennies had no mint mark. But that's not what makes this 1991 no mint mark penny special. What sets this particular coin apart, the one worth $1.7 million, is a super rare mint error combined with a near-perfect condition. We're talking about a coin that has a striking anomaly, but also looks like it came fresh off the minting press yesterday, vacuum-sealed in time. The unicorn of pocket change. Let me break this down like your favorite grandpa explaining fishing stories. The rare 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny has a striking error where the coin was mistakenly double-struck, or even struck on the wrong planchet. In some cases, coins like these were struck on dime blanks, or foreign coins blanks, creating a totally unique error that collectors go absolutely nuts over. We're talking full-on coin fever. Even if you have the same error, if your coin's been living in your junk drawer for 30 years rubbing elbows with bobby pins and rusty paper clips, it's probably not worth much. But one found in pristine condition with zero wear and a flawless surface, that's a different ballgame. That bad boy was graded MS68 red by professional graders. That's basically coin speak for, it looks better than brand new. This exact kind of coin is so rare that only one or two have been found in this elite condition with that precise error. And when rarity meets demand in the coin world, the price tag goes to the moon. Now you might be wondering, how do I know if I have one? Let me help you with a quick checklist. Grab your magnifying glass. Yes, the one you use when reading takeout menus now, and check the following. No mint mark under the date. It should be completely blank, no scratches, dings, or pocket lint residue. We're looking for showroom-level condition errors struck on different metal planchets, often way differently from normal pennies. Let me tell you about the time I almost chucked a $500 coin at a vending machine. It was 2008. I was moving, broke, and living off beef jerky and peanut butter crackers. I was scrounging for change under couch cushions for a soda. I remember picking up a shiny penny that looked a little off. The color was weird, kind of golden, and it felt lighter than usual. Years later, I was browsing a coin collector's forum and saw a post titled, "You might have spent a fortune on snacks." My stomach dropped. I remembered that odd-looking penny and realized it could have been a rare off-metal strike. I don't know if it was the exact one, but ever since then, I've been checking my change like I'm Indiana Jones looking for the Holy Grail, so take it from me. Don't ignore those weird pennies. You never know. Let's dig a little deeper into value and what makes this coin worth such a staggering amount. Most 1991 no-mint mark pennies are worth face value. But once you cross into mint state territory with an error, you're talking a jump to hundreds, thousands, and in the case of the one sold at auction, a full 1.7 million bucks. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections are where these sales go down. And let me tell you, bidding wars on error coins are wilder than Black Friday TV sales. Rubbing it with toothpaste or giving it a bath in vinegar is a guaranteed way to kill its value. Coin collectors want coins in original condition, even if they're a little dirty. Use a soft flip or capsule to store the coin safely. Keep it away from moisture, heat, and wild raccoons. You never know. Send it to a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll examine it, grade it, and encapsulate it to preserve it. That little plastic slab? That's your ticket to big bucks if you're unsure. Show it to a local coin dealer or an expert. Just make sure they're reputable, not someone selling fake gold chains out of their car trunk. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909. That's longer than sliced bread. Even though it's worth just 1 cent, the penny costs more than a cent to make. Go figure. Some people actually hoard copper pennies from pre-1982 because the metal's worth more than the coin. But that's a story for another day. That 1991 no-mint mark penny in your junk drawer? It might just be a 7-figure surprise. Most aren't worth more than a cent, but if you stumble across that rare unicorn, pristine condition, unique error, you could be looking at life-changing money. And all because you paid attention to the tiniest coin in your pocket. I started coin hunting as a fun hobby, and now I treat it like a part-time job that pays in surprises. Some folks buy stocks. I sort through loose change. It's cheaper, more fun, and you don't need a Wall Street broker. Just good lighting and patience. If this video gave you some laughs, some knowledge, or even just the urge to check your couch cushions, then you know what to do. Smash that subscribe button like you just found $1 million penny in your pocket. Hit the bell so you don't miss out on the next coin that could change your life. And drop a comment below if you've ever found anything weird or wonderful in your spare change. Hey folks, stop what you're doing and check your pockets right now. Seriously. If you've got a 2017 penny jingling around in your cup holder, couch cushions, or even stuck under your car seat, you could be holding onto a tiny copper jackpot worth 1.8 million bucks. Yeah, you heard that right. 1.8 million. For a penny. Now, I know what you're thinking. No way a modern penny is worth more than a couple of gum wrappers and a warm handshake. But today, we're diving into a 2017 Lincoln penny that defies all logic, breaks all the rules, and makes your change jar look like a potential treasure chest. So grab a cup of coffee, kick back in your recliner, and let's talk about how a 1-cent coin minted in 2017 could end up being worth more than your house. Maybe even more than your ex-wife's house too. In 2017, something pretty historic happened in the world of pennies. It was the very first year the Philadelphia Mint placed its P mint mark on the Lincoln cent. That's right. Before 2017, Philadelphia never stamped a P on their pennies. Quarters, nickels, dimes, sure. But not the penny. So when 2017 rolled around, it was to honor the Mint's 225th anniversary. A kind of birthday celebration where they gave the penny a little P hat and said, "Go on, kid, make history." One of these 2017 P pennies turned up with some crazy features that sent collectors into a frenzy. We're talking pristine condition, an insanely rare double die error, and a nearly flawless strike. It was found in a roll someone bought for $1. One of those lucky right place, right time moments. A grading company slapped it with a top-tier MS-70 rating. That means it's literally perfect. No scratches, no dings, no smudges from the greasy fingers of humanity. Just copper perfection. It sold in a private sale for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. That's right, $1.8 million. For a coin you could have pulled out of your change at the gas station when you bought a Snickers. Let me tell you, I've been collecting coins since I had more hair and fewer bills. And I've seen some wild stuff, but this 2017 Penny story? It's like hitting the lottery without buying a ticket. Now, let me get a little personal here. Back in 2017, I was going through one of those weeks. You know the kind. My lawnmower broke, the dog ate a pair of brand new shoes, and I dropped my phone in the toilet trying to grab a penny I saw near the base. Spoiler alert, it wasn't even a good one. But I had this habit back then. I'd always stop by the bank every Friday and grab a few rolls of coins. Just for fun. Like fishing, but with copper and zinc instead of worms and hooks. So there I was, sitting on the couch with my coin rolls, watching reruns of the Andy Griffith Show, popping open rolls one by one. I remember finding a couple of nice 2017 pennies and thinking, these are shiny. Tossed them in a jar and moved on. Fast forward to the next year. I hear about the $1 million 2017 penny. I kid you not, I went full-blown FBI mode on that jar. Gloves on, magnifying glass in hand, sweating like I just ran a mile uphill in July. Turns out, I didn't have the penny. But I found one in pretty good condition and got it graded. Ended up being worth about $250. Not 1.8 million, but hey, not bad for a penny I almost used to scratch a lottery ticket. First time in history the mint mark appeared on a penny. The $1 million version was a flawless MS-70 grade. That's museum-level perfection. Some rare versions have doubling on the date or lettering, which turns a common coin into a high-value collectible. Coin folks love a good story, and the 2017 has it all: history, rarity, and a modern twist. Now I know some of y'all are itching to go dig through your jars, and I don't blame you. But before you do, let me give you a few tips for identifying a valuable 2017 penny. Grab a magnifier and inspect Lincoln's profile and the lettering. Any signs of doubling? That's what we call a double die error, and that could be your ticket to the big bucks. The fewer scratches, the better. A shiny, uncirculated coin stands a better chance at being valuable. If you think you've got something special, don't guess. Send it to a professional grading service. They'll tell you if you're sitting on a treasure or just a lucky penny, and if you're like me and you enjoy the hunt, keep digging. Coin collecting isn't just about the money. It's the stories, the surprises, and the thrill of turning pocket change into payday. So there you have it, friends. One little copper coin, a simple 2017 penny with a mint mark, turned a lucky collector into a millionaire. And who knows? The next one might be hiding in your glove box, your junk drawer, or behind the couch cushion you've been avoiding since 2003. If you found this video helpful or even a little entertaining, hit that subscribe button. I've got more tips, tricks, and coin hunting strategies coming your way. From $1 million quarters to rare wheat pennies, I'll help you sort the trash from the treasure. Smash that like button, share this with your coin-loving buddy, and drop a comment if you think you've got a hidden gem in your collection. I want to hear your stories, even if your dog ate your rare penny like mine tried to. Hey there, fellow coin hunters and treasure seekers. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your spare change? No, not just scooped it into your car's cup holder or dropped it into that dusty old piggy bank. I mean really looked. Because hiding in plain sight among all those regular pennies, nickels, and quarters, there might be something worth a small fortune. Actually, scratch that. A big fortune. Like $1.9 million big. We're diving into a simple little coin that most folks wouldn't even glance at twice. The 1991 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. It looks ordinary. Feels ordinary. But this one is anything but ordinary. So hang on tight, because this little guy might just change your life, or at least pay off your mortgage. And stick with me, because later I'll tell you the real story of how I nearly tossed one of these bad boys into a vending machine for a pack of peanut M&Ms. Yeah, that happened. Alright, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The 1991 Lincoln penny is part of the Memorial Cent series. It features good ol' Honest Abe on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Standard fare, right? Nothing fancy. It was struck mostly in Philadelphia, but here's the kicker: Philadelphia coins usually don't have a mint mark. So if you find a 1991 penny with no mint mark, you might think, it's just another penny. But here's where it gets wild. Not all no mint mark 1991 pennies are created equal. Some of them, due to extremely rare minting errors or very specific striking conditions, have become insanely valuable. Like that one specific coin that sold for $1.9 million. Yup, one single penny. You might be wondering, how does a penny even get to that value? I mean, it's a cent. 1 cent. What gives? It all boils down to rarity and demand. The high dollar 1991 no-mint mark penny was a perfect storm. It had a striking error, was in near pristine condition. I'm talking full red luster, uncirculated, almost like it just rolled off the mint conveyor belt and skipped 30 years of pockets and purses. Combine that with collector demand and boom. Bidding wars happen, prices skyrocket, and someone ends up with $1 million smile. Now let's talk about how you can tell if your 1991 penny might be worth something. Because while not all are $1 million babies, some can still fetch hundreds or thousands. Strong strike and full detail. If Abe looks like he had a rough night, maybe not the full red color. This is grading lingo, but if it's shiny and bright and not brown or dull, you might be in business, minting errors. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, die cracks, or other weird features. Sometimes the mint messes up in a way that makes collectors go wild. Now I promised you a story. So here's the moment I almost threw away a fortune. A few years ago, I was cleaning out the glove box of my old Toyota Camry. Found a handful of sticky pennies clinging together with what I hope was melted gum. Decided to toss them into the vending machine at work. Right before I shoved one into the coin slot, I noticed something odd about the date, 1991, no mint mark, super sharp detail. Looked brand new. My gut said hold up. So I took it home, cleaned it carefully, and yeah, I know you're not supposed to clean coins, but this thing had jelly on it. I had no choice. I popped it under a magnifier, did a little research, and boom. Turns out it wasn't the $1 million one, but it was still valued at close to $2,000. Also, keep your coins away from vending machines. Let's talk numbers. Right now, a verified 1991 no-mint mark Lincoln penny in top-notch condition is valued at about $1.9 million. That's the top-tier coin, graded MS68 or better, with an extremely rare error or a minting anomaly that makes it stand out. If you find one like that, you're sitting on a gold mine. Even if you find a coin that's not the top one, lower-grade examples can still pull in between $500 to $5,000 depending on the error and condition. That's not bad for something you pulled out of your couch cushions, and if you're thinking of cashing in, be smart. Don't just slap it on eBay. Get it graded. A reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC can officially evaluate and certify your coin, which can massively increase its value. So here's the takeaway. The next time someone says pennies are worthless, you look them square in the eye and say, not if it's a 1991 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. That little copper coin could pay off your student loans, buy you a brand new truck, or finally get you that fancy backyard smoker you've been eyeing. And listen, coin hunting isn't just a hobby. It's a thrill. A real-life treasure hunt. You don't need a metal detector or a pirate map, just a sharp eye and a little patience. So if you enjoyed hanging out, learning a little coin history, and hearing how I almost blew $2,000 on a candy bar, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button. Tap the bell so you don't miss the next tip. I've got more stories, more valuable coins, and more ways for you to turn pocket change into serious cash. Hey there, fellow coin collectors. So, imagine this. You're sifting through a box of loose change, not really expecting to find anything special. But then, bam, you come across a coin that looks a little different, and upon closer inspection, it's a 1967 Abraham Lincoln penny. You might think, just another old penny, right? But hold on a second. What if I told you that this penny, this little copper disc, could be worth $1 million? Yeah, I'm talking about the elusive, rare, and seriously valuable 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. I'm about to dive into why this coin is worth a fortune, how you can spot it, and why you should pay attention to the pennies you've probably tossed in your pocket change. Stay tuned, and let's get this penny adventure started. Alright, let's first set the stage here. The 1967 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is one of those coins that's so rare, it's almost like the holy grail of penny collecting. When people hear penny, they typically think, oh, it's just a cent. No big deal. But, as we all know, sometimes the most valuable things are hiding in plain sight. First things first, you might be asking, why is this penny worth $1,000,000? It looks like any other penny. Well, here's where the story gets interesting. Back in 1967, the U.S. Mint was experiencing some issues with production. Normally, pennies made in Philadelphia would have the mint mark P stamped on them, indicating they were made in the Philadelphia Mint. But in 1967, for reasons that remain a bit of a mystery, the mint didn't stamp a mint mark on some of these coins. So, the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies became extremely rare. It's estimated that only a small batch of these no-mint mark pennies ever made it out of the mint. If you happen to find one in decent condition, you could be holding a coin that's worth a whopping $1,000,000. That's right. This humble penny could be sitting on a treasure trove of value. How to spot a 1967 no-mint mark penny now? You're probably thinking, okay, sounds great, but how do I find one of these bad boys? Well, let me tell you, it's all about knowing what to look for. The key thing is that you need to check the mint mark area. Normally, you'll see a small P right under Abraham Lincoln's shoulder on the front of the penny, but in this case, the coin has no mint mark at all. Take a moment to check your 1967 pennies. You'll be looking at the obverse, that's the front, where Honest Abe is front and center. And if there's no P underneath his shoulder, then you've found something special. But don't start counting your millions just yet. There's still more to know. Here's the thing. Just because you find a 1967 no-mint mark penny doesn't mean you're automatically a millionaire. The condition of the coin is super important. A penny that's been hanging out in your pocket for decades, scratched up and worn down, won't fetch nearly as much as one that's been preserved in great condition. The more pristine it is, the higher the value. Check your pennies carefully. Don't just toss them aside because they're dirty or scratched. Look for any signs of wear and tear that might lower the coin's value. If you've got a mint condition one, then you could be sitting on a gold mine. A quick side story, relatable moment. Speaking of finding rare coins, let me tell you about the time I found my first rare coin. It was a few years ago, and I was going through a box of old coins my uncle had handed down to me. I was honestly just looking for some cool pieces to add to my collection, but I didn't expect to find anything too valuable. I pulled out a 1943 steel penny, thinking, cool, another old coin. But then I looked at it more closely. There was something off about it. It wasn't magnetic. Steel pennies were supposed to be magnetic. My heart skipped a beat as I realized I was holding an incredibly rare copper 1943 penny. I had no idea at the time, but that little mistake in production could have been worth hundreds of thousands of dollars if it were in pristine condition. Sadly, mine wasn't in perfect shape, but I'll never forget the excitement of thinking I had found a treasure. It just goes to show that sometimes, the most valuable coins are the ones you least expect. It's kind of like finding that hidden gem in your old coin jar, just like that 1967 no-mint mark penny. The value of the 1967 no-mint mark penny. Okay, now let's talk numbers. If you're lucky enough to find a 1967 no-mint mark penny in decent condition, you could expect it to fetch anywhere from $100,000 to $1 million, depending on the rarity and the condition. It's a coin that's caught the eye of collectors all over the world, and its rarity has driven the value to insane levels. First, the rarity of the coin itself, and second, its condition. The better the condition, the higher the price. Coins in mint state can easily hit that $1 million mark, while ones in lower grades will still be valuable but not quite as much. That 1967 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be the most valuable coin hiding in your pocket change right now. Remember to check for that missing P under Abe's shoulder. If you find it, you could be looking at a major payday. Now, before you run off to your coin jar, I've got to ask, did you learn something today? If so, hit that subscribe button, because I've got tons more tips, tricks, and strategies to help you find coins that are worth a fortune. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned collector, we're all in this together, trying to find those hidden treasures in the world of coin collecting. If you found any cool coins recently, drop a comment below and let me know. Who knows? Maybe you've got a few $1 million pennies lying around, just waiting to be discovered. Hey there, coin enthusiasts. Have you ever thought that the pennies in your pocket could be worth more than just pocket change? Well, buckle up because today we're diving into a coin that might just be sitting in your jar of loose change. The 1995 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. And guess what? This penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. No, I'm not kidding. You could be sitting on a literal gold mine without even knowing it. But first, let me hit you with a little story. I remember the first time I stumbled upon a penny worth a fortune. I was rummaging through a box of old coins my grandfather left me and thought, why not check the pennies? I found one, and after doing a bit of research, I realized it was worth way more than I ever expected. It was the rush of a lifetime, honestly. So, stick around because by the end of this video, you might just be eyeing your pocket change a little differently. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you don't miss any of our deep dives into coins worth big bucks. Trust me, you don't want to miss out. Alright, let's get into it. The 1995 D Lincoln penny might seem like a typical, run-of-the-mill coin at first glance, but it's got something special about it. For the uninitiated, you might look at a 1995 D penny and think, what's so special about this one? Well, that little D mint mark could be the key to unlocking a small fortune. First, let's talk about the history behind this coin. The 1995 D penny was minted in Denver, hence the D Mint mark. Back in 1995, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, but a small number of them were struck with a specific flaw that made them stand out. This flaw is actually a result of a die that wasn't properly aligned during the minting process, giving these pennies a slight double die effect. You know, a little extra oomph that makes all the difference when it comes to rarity. Now, you might be wondering, okay, so what's the big deal? Well, here's where things get interesting. Because of that die error, a certain batch of 1995 D pennies became incredibly rare, making them highly sought after by collectors. And as any coin collector will tell you, rarity is king. If you've got one of these rare 1995 D pennies with the double die error, you're sitting on a potential gold mine. Let me break it down for you in a way that's easy to understand. Coin value isn't just about the year or the mint mark. It's about the condition and the rarity. In this case, the double die error makes the coin extremely valuable. The market value of these coins has been known to reach up to $1.1 million for the right one in perfect condition. We're talking about a coin worth more than the house you live in. Insane, right? But before you start getting too excited and running to check your penny jar, here's a little reality check. Not every 1995 D penny is worth $1.1 million. The condition matters. If your coin has a lot of wear and tear, you're probably looking at a much lower price tag. But if you've got one that's in near perfect condition with that double die error, you could be looking at a massive payday. Great question. Let's dive into the details. You're going to want to inspect your coin closely. The most obvious way to spot a double die error is by looking at the date and the lettering on the coin. If you notice any kind of double vision happening in the 1995 or the Liberty on the front of the coin, you might have a winner. Finding these coins isn't exactly easy. Sure, there are some floating around in circulation, but they're not exactly hanging out in every spare change you get. Coin collectors and enthusiasts have spent years scouring through rolls of pennies, looking for these elusive treasures. So, if you happen to find one, congratulations, you've struck gold. But, of course, the adventure doesn't stop there. Once you've found a potential gem, you need to authenticate it. If you think you've got a 1995 D double die penny, it's time to take it to an expert or a coin dealer who can verify whether it's the real deal. And trust me, you want to get it graded because that can really impact its value. Coins that are in better condition with clear markings and little wear fetch a much higher price. Now, I've got to tell you a funny story about my own coin hunting experience. A few months ago, I was at a garage sale, one of those Saturday mornings where I was just casually browsing through random junk. You know the drill, looking for old tools, records, and maybe a nice piece of furniture. But as I was flipping through a box of coins, I found this old tin can full of pennies a tea first. I thought, just a bunch of modern pennies. Nothing too exciting here. But something told me to take a closer look. I was poking through them when I found one. Just one 1995 D penny. It wasn't in perfect condition, but I could see that there was a little something off with the 1995 on it. I figured, why not give it a shot and see what an expert has to say. Long story short, it wasn't worth a fortune, but it was still a great find. That small thrill of discovering something potentially valuable, even if it wasn't the jackpot, made me realize how much fun coin collecting can be. And trust me, once you get the bug, you won't stop looking through your change. If you've got a 1995 D penny in your collection, it could very well be worth $1.1 million if it has the double die error and is in great condition. But don't get too carried away just yet. Take your time, inspect your coins, and maybe even make it a hobby to search for those rare gems. Who knows, you might just find your own fortune in a jar of pennies. Before we wrap up, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You never know what treasures are hiding in your pockets, and we're here to help you spot them. I've got tons more tips and stories to share, so make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, and join the coin hunting community.